Damn, it's a scary video.
Little dark web stories. Niggas high.
Yeah. The animated
It was a
woman, that's what
late,
it's called.
moonless, snowy night. I heard the chilling cry of a bobcat as I arrived home from my parents' house, where we had just had Thanksgiving dinner in northern Michigan. Exhausted, I had finally made it to my bed when my pregnant girlfriend asked for nacho cheese munchies. Reluctantly, I laced up my boots and went to my car. Due to the cold, it took me a
Should've had
while
me
to start
fucked
the car,
up, boy.
which only made me more irritated.
We just came back in town.
Eventually,
We just
I got
came
it
back in
started,
town, bitch.
and I arrived at the convenience store to retrieve my girlfriend's mandated snacks. As I left the store, walking back towards
Fucking
my
simp.
car, I saw a shadow of movement out of the corner of my eye. What looked like a person stood near the dumpster, just out of the light. I stepped towards the figure, and she looked at me with a giant, sinister smile. Her face was so weathered, it looked like she had
Yeah.
cracks all over her face. She was crouched down and appeared to be chewing on something. I looked to see what she was chewing on.
What you mean?
To my surprise, it was a severed arm. It looked old, as if it had been rotting for weeks. I saw her glance at something in her pocket. I could see the outline of what looked like a pocket knife. As soon as I looked back up, she quickly charged me. I pushed her away and ran back to the convenience store. I burst through the door and frantically yelled towards the cashier to call the police as I turned to lock it. He asked me, "What's going on?" I scowled at him and said, "Please, just call the cops." I looked back outside and saw the woman had moved across the street and was still scrutinizing me as she maintained her malevolent grin. "Look, there's a girl out there who's trying to kill me." Looking over me,
Oh,
he
shit.
replied, "I don't see anyone out there, sir." Those words shook me, even to this
Shook
day.
my nigga.
When the police reached the gas station, they began looking around for the woman while one of the officers asked me what had happened, and I told him the details of the encounter. One of the officers came back and said he couldn't find anything. I then took them back to where I first noticed her. We spent a few minutes intently searching, but there was no proof she was ever even there.
What that blood on
The officer cocked his head and looked at me as if I was deranged and asked me in a judgmental tone, "Are you feeling okay?" I was about to defend myself, and then I started to think. I am tired, and I have had a couple of drinks, so I just told him, "Yes, sir. Sorry for bothering you.
Imagine
You have a nice night."
you pushed the bitch
I
down.
drove
You
home.
wasn't. Come on, bro.
I got home at around 4 o'clock in the morning. My girlfriend greeted me with an angered but concerning tone of voice. She asked me,
Where were you? Are you okay?
so I told her everything that happened. Of course, she didn't believe me. I couldn't get to sleep that night. I sat in my bed questioning my sanity, wondering if it was all even real. Am I crazy? Maybe I'm just tired. But no, that can't be it. I saw it. But if I saw it, why was there no proof? Where did the arm go? Where did she go?
He off that dog.
It was 7 in the morning, and I had to go to work. I threw on my jacket as I was about to head to the construction site, and I put my hand in my pocket and noticed that there was a hole in it. It wasn't there the other day. I thought, what if she caught my jacket as I ran? Which further proves my suspicion that she was real. I couldn't believe it. My mind completely went wild until my girlfriend kissed me goodbye. I told my friends at work what had happened, and they didn't believe me either. They made jokes about it the entire day.
This nigga was a
I
dog.
had so that gave me something to look forward to. I got home, I threw my vest and jacket up, and rapidly put on my bowling shoes and got my bowling ball. My girlfriend looked at me with a pleasant smile and said,
When will you be back?
"Probably around 11.
Don't be long.
I won't. Don't."
At T-Mobile, we believe you should get more.
That damn
That's
ad.
why
Hold
we
on, yo.
urge Mrs.
That damn ad.
At around 10:30, the tournament had finally finished, and we had won. I was so thrilled I had forgotten about the woman. As we were leaving, I noticed something at the other end of the parking lot. It was that psychotic woman. We stared at each other for what felt like an eternity. She slowly started moving towards me while waving her knife in the air and making cuts. I quickly jumped into my car and turned it on. As I looked up, I saw she was standing in front of me, staring at me. She slowly walked over to my window, and she said in a quiet, deep, and scratchy voice,
Little pig, let me in.
I was frozen in fear, but I snapped back to reality when she banged on the roof of my car, screaming. I quickly slammed my foot on the accelerator and didn't let off it until I couldn't see her anymore. When I arrived home, I told my girlfriend what had happened. Like last time, she didn't believe me. I really thought I was insane, but I tried to forget about it and get some sleep. Later that night, I woke up and saw her in my room. All she said was, "Let me in," over and over as she got closer. She then started shouting,
Let me in, let me in, let me in. Let me in.
Come on, Paul. Stop being difficult.
Let me in.
I was wondering how in the world my girlfriend hadn't heard this going on. The woman was right next to me and held up a knife to me. That's when I fainted. Then I remembered I don't have a girlfriend,
You off that
house,
dog.
or a family.
Come on, Paul. It's time for your morning meds. Let me in.
He was off the dog!
Off the fucking dog.
Thanks to Skillshare for
Man,
sponsoring.
he was off the fucking dog, man.
I said this shit. Hey man, that was another little video, man. Folk is a excuse me.
The Real Smoke Show. Back at
Okay.
it again. With a true Chuck E. Cheese horror story. You know what I mean? So, like, subscribe, comment, you know. We're about to get started.
True Chuck E. Cheese.
True
I've been
story.
holding on to this for a couple of years now and feel like I need to get it off my chest. I had a few years to digest this, and now I'm ready to share my story with the world. I wish to remain anonymous,
fuck you got?
so
Look at
for
it
the
on.
sake of this story, my name will be Danny. The details of this story remain vivid, but somewhat foggy, as I try to reminisce on the distant memories that occurred a couple of years ago. It all started when me and my parents resided together in an old townhouse, which was located in a neighborhood notorious for having a high crime rate.
He all 60 fucking
I never liked
third.
living there, and neither did my parents, but it was the only thing that we could afford at the time. My parents were a little rough around the edges, considering they had both been through a
Off
lot.
that dog, bro.
Like, he about to beat her.
My dad has had a few run-ins with the law, while my mom lost both her parents at a very young age.
Damn.
So seeing them edgy at times didn't
Yeah,
faze
he's
me
off
at
the
all.
dog for real.
Well, I'm doing my best, all right?
Can you do something else? What you're doing isn't working.
I'd like to see you.
You do better, damn it.
Shut the hell up already. I'm tired of hearing you nag all day.
You shut up, you bum.
Almost every night, I could hear the constant back and
She's
forth
crazy as
for
fuck.
hours.
Getting off.
My parents. They would always fight over what I assumed to be financial related issues, which had only gotten worse over the years. My parents both didn't really make much money on their respective jobs, so hearing them argue was almost a daily occurrence. I was always scared that things would turn violent, especially with the way these two went at it. I remember one night, I was in my bed trying to induce myself to sleep by watching a couple of YouTube videos on my cell phone.
Well, like
I could hear the usual shouting match coming from the kitchen downstairs. It honestly sounded like they were at the point where they were going to be in a physical altercation. I pressed my ear against my bedroom door and could hear the distant bickering become more hostile between the
Yeah,
parents.
fucking dude.
I could make out my mom saying,
If you don't get a real job, I'm taking Danny and we're moving out.
"What in the hell are you talking about? He doesn't even like you."
Shut up! Shut the hell up!
I remember hearing sounds of my mom opening up the kitchen drawers, which led me to assume she was searching for something sharp and potentially do the unthinkable. That's when I decided to head downstairs and mediate
Goddamn
the feud,
advertisements,
hopefully
man.
put to rest.
I have a challenge for all of you. Go to every computer in your house, your mom's, your dad's, your sister, your brother's computer, and install.
Shut the hell up, Mr. Beast.
As I approached the kitchen, I could see my mom holding a huge knife in an overhand grip. The kind of grip that someone uses in preparation. I could also see my dad holding one of the dining room chairs, which I assumed was his
Oh,
defense
yeah, she was on some granny
What are you
shit.
doing
Man,
here,
oh,
Danny?
me.
Didn't I tell you never to leave your room unless you have to use the washroom?
I'm sorry, Mom, but I heard you and...
Go to your room, you little turd!
Don't call it that!
Don't tell me what's into your mother.
Mom, please don't kill Dad!
I said go to your room, Danny!
Leave Danny alone and put the knife away, Helen! That's when my mom began piercing the family portrait of us. Except she was only piercing the portion with my dad's face. Mom, stop! Please stop it! It's been a couple weeks
my
after
bad.
the
He
whole
was throwing
saga
it to you.
had occurred.
I don't know what else I have been here
I'm
myself.
telling you. What's wrong with you,
Left
ho?
me to reside with my
They
mother.
rushed me.
The court unfortunately ruled that my mom would be in favor of getting custody of me due to my dad's criminal history with the law. I honestly contemplated on running away due to how much I dreaded living with her, especially with how toxic and controlling her behavior was. I would spend most of my time locked in my bedroom, sulking on why I couldn't live a normal life like the rest of the younger individuals in my neighborhood. Why in the hell do I have to live with her?
Nigga, eyes always shaking, man.
You
Supposed to be the
Nigga, this shit a bit rocked.
man,
Rock your ass. Bitch, shut up.
What was even worse was the fact that I had a curfew during my school days. I didn't even
How
have
would that
time
work?
to join any after-school clubs or sports teams due to the simple fact that I was too worried about not making it home on time. I remember my mom locked me out of the house for several hours due to the fact that I was 5 minutes past my curfew. The one thing I found even more aggravating was how my mom permanently banned me from going to the local Chuck E. Cheese restaurant located down the street from my residence.
Another ad.
Slapping ads at us.
Don't want no good.
For those that aren't familiar with Chuck E. Cheese, it's a restaurant that has arcade games and playrooms for younger crowds such as myself. I enjoyed going there, as it would bring back fond memories of when me and my dad used to go. I usually went to Chuck E. Cheese every time it was my birthday, just as a tradition my dad established when we all used to live together. But all of that is gone now. My mom took my entire childhood away from me, which I find equivalent to ripping my heart out of my chest. She selfishly didn't want me going because she didn't want me to be reminded of my dad's
Bro.
existence. The rules and restrictions I had
That's
to
how you
abide
cry,
by
my G?
made it difficult
No
to
facial
make friends,
expression.
which put me in a
That
dark
nigga
state
is
of mind
Kawhi
for the
Leonard.
latter part of my life.
This is Kawhi Leonard
There
backstory,
was one
man.
night where I decided to approach my
You
mom
always
and
look
convince her
tired
to
too.
bring
Why
me
you
to
got
Chuck E.
bags
Cheese.
in his eyes?
Strong go.
I honestly cared more about Chuck E. Cheese than my actual
Imagine
birthday
sleeping on one
itself,
side, though. If you
which is why I ended up using it as an excuse to go there. Hey, Mom, can we please go to Chuck E. Cheese for my...
No, Danny, I already told you this.
But it's for my birthday.
No.
I anticipated the rebuttal my mom was going to throw at me, but that didn't stop me from being persistent with my request. After a few tears and relentless pleading, my mom eventually caved in and agreed to take me there on my birthday. The exhilaration of going to Chuck E. Cheese after all
First of all,
these
he like
months
16
was
years
honestly
fucking old, bro.
something compared to an inmate getting released from jail.
Look at his
I was so
eyes.
excited to the point where I didn't even care about anything else. Just me and the place that I once grew to love. My birthday eventually arrived, and it was time for me to finally visit Chuck E. Cheese once again. It was about the evening time, so the venue was usually packed to full capacity. I couldn't help but marvel at what was in front of me, as I genuinely felt I was a kid in a candy shop. Pinch me. I must be dreaming.
That's the dog, bro.
I immediately started playing the arcade
Dog,
games
look at
while my
him.
mom wandered off to grab some food. I remember being so hungry, but at the same time so infatuated with every arcade game that was in front of me. I couldn't help but indulge in countless games, as I knew this could be my very last time at Chuck E. Cheese. That's when I felt a strange tap.
Bro!
God.
I turned towards the direction of where I felt the tap, only to see a large Chuck E. Cheese rat mascot hovering over me. I was a little alarmed that the mascot would approach me, considering there were hundreds of guests in attendance. Hey, Chucky? The mascot didn't say anything. He just stood there staring at me with his big, elongated eyes. I noticed he had red stains on his costume, which I assumed to be pizza stains. But then I noticed the stains had transferred onto the shoulder area of my shirt from the tap he did earlier. I now knew that these were definitely not
Doing
pizza
it back.
stains. They had to be blood stains of some sort. Chucky, is she gone? Yeah, she is. Here, take my hand, Danny. I missed you, Dad. I missed you too, son.
Bro,
what the
what?
Boy, that was his dad in that bitch? Boy, that was his dad in that Chuck E. Cheese suit, boy. He just caught a smooth thing. Hey.
I don't even think that was his
Bro,
dad.
he said
I
it.
don't even think that was his dad, bro. He talking about Chucky is it done, and then because he was talking about he was sleep deprived and he was starving.
Man,
I think he killed his mom and went there.
That could be that too. Oh shit! Let us know
Let
what
us know
y'all
what y'all
think.
think,
Type
man.
shit, man.
Shit,
That shit is
That was
wild.
wild, man.
What is hit the like, share, subscribe, man, and go check out the podcast and stay away from the dog food. Oh,
He was off the dog.